Hello and welcome back to the ABP Building Help video channel. And today we're going to talk about something which is a structural alteration, which a lot of people like to do because it gives them a little bit more space in the home, and that is a chimney breast removal. Now, it's not a straightforward thing. It's not a case of just taking a sledgehammer and bashing it and knocking it down and hoping for the best. It needs to be taken down properly with the correct support. But once done, you can actually get a lot of space in whichever room it is that you've taken the breast out of. So one of the first things that we do is to make sure it's structurally propped. Even though chimney breasts are very well built and bonded into the wall that they protrude off, we still want to make sure it's properly propped, and that would normally be done with some acro props. With some, on this picture you can see some strong buoys on the end, which are just placed at various different locations on the chimney breast just to support it where it needs to be supported. Once the breast is down, the remaining breast needs to be supported before we can take the props away and everything else. And there's a couple of different ways of doing that. One way of doing it is gallows brackets, and that's essentially some purpose-made brackets that have been made up depending on what the engineer's designed. It could be 50 by 50 angle lines, 75 by 75, up to 100 mil. All depends on what the engineer's designed. Depending on the size of the breast will depend on how many brackets need to be used. What's normally done is over the top of the brackets, either a checkered plate would be used, a concrete lintel, it could be some steel beams, whatever it is that the engineer's designed, which will be packed up tightly to the remaining breast. There are other ways of supporting the breast. In this picture here, you can see a steel beam which actually supports the breast, and this would normally in a lot of cases be two steel beams which run alongside each other. In a job we did, we used two 152 beams, and they spanned from the rear elevation wall to the spine wall, which divides the rear living room and front living room. You'd have some pad stones at the bottom of the beam, so the load's evenly distributed and everything's done according to the structural engineer's plans. But it's horses for courses, and it all depends on what engineer designs what, depending on the actual project and the job in hand. Now, years ago, some of the old boys, and you find this in a lot of older properties, if you open up a structure, you can find how they used to do it years and years ago. And what was commonly done then is where the flue liners in the chimney stack corbel back into the wall, what they do just on joist level, between the joists, they'd put a couple of trimmers in, and they just run a timber beam, which was then packed up tightly to the brickwork, which corbelled back into the wall that the chimney breast comes off. It's frowned upon. It would never pass any building regulations these days, and it's not the way to do it. But that's something a lot of people find when they open up a structure. So there you have it. This was just a quick insight on how to remove a chimney breast, the procedures, and what can be done to create more space in your home. We are structural builders, and we carry out all structural alterations and structural repairs. We are based in Liverpool but work all around the northwest. So if we can help with anything, or you have a chimney breast which needs to be removed, please visit the website structuralbuildersinliverpool.co.uk, or give us a call and we'd be happy to help. So thank you very much for visiting the help channel, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.